Thanks for tapping in with 95 South TV, hosted by Icon Ian King J, bringing you the best news and media through the efforts of the community. We interview nonprofit organizations, business owners, school teachers, spiritual leaders, and anybody who has an impact in the community that has a remarkable backstory. These professionals that we bring on this show has a story that will wow you, that will knock your socks off. And with that being said, we want you to tune in, keep it locked. We want you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Be a dedicated listener. Come in, and if you require to do an interview, you can definitely reach out to us at 95southpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for your ongoing support.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And once again, we on 95 South TV. First and foremost, want to thank God for this opportunity, because without him, there'll be no us. Second, I got to introduce my right-hand man, your baby mama favorite host, Jacob the Great, Barry White Jr. himself. What's going on, brother?
What up, man? What up, man? Glad to be in the land of the living, boy. Another day, another chance to get it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once again, man, listen, last night we had an awesome interview, and we wanted to do the second part to let this young man tell his story. So if you didn't catch last night interview, go back. I suggest you to go back and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Before we get started, this is brought to you sponsored by A10 Studios, our Roku channel, also sponsored by, empowered by inspireradio.com. Subscribe to us at 95 South 90 South Network on our YouTube channel. So by any means necessary, let's go ahead and get this doggone interview started. ATP Richie, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, brother. So I'm gonna let you pick it up where you left it off at. I'm guessing you remember. So because it's your story to tell. So just take it off where you left it off at.
Where we left off at was where my lawyer brung in this expert by the name of Doug Thornton, and he was out of Ohio, and he brung him in because that jail phone call recording, it was a lot of things running through both of our minds that we needed answers for. So what the state was trying to say was, when they changed the time of the crime, they said they were going off of 911 calls. So they said these 911 calls were coming in 10 minutes later. So that means the shooting happened around that time, which means it was accurate. So we know that the shooting happened at 9:01, 9:08, according to that jail phone call. But the state wanted to say that it happened at 9:17, 9:18, which means that I didn't have an alibi at that time. So they picked a dead spot in my phone records. So when we brought in Doug Thornton, and like I said, this was a Academy Award winner for soap operas or whatever. He's a sound engineer. And what he's able to do is he's able to get any sound and tune out everything else and bring these sounds to the forefront so you can hear everything. You know what I mean? These sound waves, they become basically like human beings. Sound waves, though. So when he was going through these sound waves, what he discovered was the 911 calls were taking place on this jail phone call, which means it was impossible for it to happen at 9:17. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
after this shooting, right after this shooting, this phone call is still going. So while this phone call is going, you hear in the background, this is 911. Get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So this
Mm-hmm.
jail phone call is already anchored now, because not only do you have the system that recorded it, which was time stamped, you also had the phone records from the number that it was called. You get what I'm saying? Which was
Mm-hmm.
CenturyLink. So the spokesperson from CenturyLink came in and testified and says, no, everything is accurate to the millisecond. Like this, everything on these right here is accurate. If it's not, we can be sued. So how can you
Mm-hmm.
get around this timestamp? You get what I'm saying? So this call
Gotcha.
started at 9:01. Shots went
Mm-hmm.
off 6 minutes and 58 seconds into this call, which put the shooting at 907, 908, which means I was on my phone pinging off a tower that was miles away. Not these
Mm-hmm.
5 towers that's supposed to pick me up if I was in that area. So I'm out
Gotcha.
of sight, out of mind. So you change the time of the shooting to fit your theory and you put me there. Okay. So once Doug was able to do that, the bigger answers and the bigger questions, what should I say, came was, how did you doctor the 911 calls?
Mm.
These were login sheets that somebody, I can't say who, I don't know, and I can't point the finger at nobody, I don't know. Somebody changed this timeline to fit their theory with these 911 calls. So not only then, what you have is called metadata. So when we went back to check the metadata, because say for instance, every time you use the scanner, it
Mm-hmm.
chirps and it leaves metadata, it leaves footprints. Okay, so now imagine cargo ships. You know, cargo ships, how the cargo is stacked upon each other, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you move a cargo from the bottom, the ones on the top supposed to do what?
Those
Fall down.
fall down, fall, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So what happened was when we go and look at this metadata, they removed it, but it
Mm.
didn't fall down. So when it didn't fall down, you left a footprint, meaning somebody went in there and wiped the metadata clean for the time of the actual crime. So, like
Mm.
I said, this wasn't something that was did just by one person. This is something that happened by a whole group as a whole. Because somebody
Gotcha.
had to go back and say, well, hey, if you're gonna do this, then we got to change this too. But they didn't understand that technology is a mug. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So back in 2003, Waterloo, Iowa, that's Black Hawk County, they signed into law in this county that it was protocol that when a police car turns on its lights and sirens, the sirens, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, automatically the dash cam starts recording because there wasn't enough money to buy body mics, cameras, and all of that to give you a transparency of what's going on with these crimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was protocol. When lights and sirens come on, dash cam video start recording. So it was 13 squad cars that came to this little nightclub. How many dash cam videos was it?
Probably one
None.
13. Mm.
None. Not even
Yeah.
one. You know
Wow.
why? Because the moment it starts recording, there's a timestamp.
Mm-hmm.
So the timestamp would have showed what time you arrived. And it would have showed that you didn't arrive at 9:17. It would have showed that you arrived around this time, which I had an
Mm-hmm.
alibi for. But since you're changing the timeline and everything else, you have to manufacture everything else to fit your timeline. So you wipe that clean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or they,
No
or they,
one
or
is
they probably told, or the lead detective or lieutenant, whoever, told the rest of the officers to turn their cameras off before they got there. I don't
well,
mean.
no, because at this time you don't even have the phone records to know. So this is something that was
Gotcha.
done premeditated. This is
Yeah,
premeditated.
okay.
You
Gotcha.
you deliberately did this because now you know when you have the phone records that something don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to make this add up, you had to go back and do what? Wipe it
Yeah.
clean.
Have to clean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So among all of those things accumulated to we finally getting a chance to go in front of, and there was some more things that came into play too, but I don't want to speak on names and people that actually, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with those type of, because it's still open
Yeah.
right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
what it led to was a judge actually reviewing this whole case when we went to trial. So when we went
Mm-hmm.
to the post conviction trial and presented this evidence, and because there was no answer for anything that was done by the state, there was no answer for it. The change
Mm-hmm.
of the timeline, why did you do this? Why did you do that? There was no answer. So when we presented this case to the judge and he heard this case and he asked the county attorney, do you have anything to say? Do you have any evidence to present? Do you have anything?
Uh-oh, it went out on me. Wow. Yeah, Jacob, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's
there
my
we go.
fault right there,
Oh,
man.
go,
So when he
go
asked
ahead. Go.
him and he says no, you know what I mean? He has nothing to present, no rebuttal, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to argue against all of this evidence that's overwhelming to show I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Nothing. Only thing he said in closing arguments is, Your Honor, I just ask that you keep an open mind and you read the transcripts and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel what I'm saying? So once
Yeah.
the judge overturns this case, he
Mm-hmm.
overturns this case. They call me, say, hey, your lawyer just called. You know, we wanted to let you know that you won your appeal. And I looked at him
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I knew I was gonna win. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that way for 19 years that, hey, eventually I'll get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I never
So
lost
how
my
long
faith. I
was
never lost my dedication and termination. I always stayed disciplined. I stayed the course. You know what I'm saying? No matter what somebody else said, no matter what somebody else felt,
I'm about to ask him how long it was before he got out after that. Cause no, I don't know. I know not, those things I think take a couple of days. I think even when they how. So I was gonna ask you, how long does it take? Did it take for you to be released once it was dropped? Can you hear me?
say something now.
I said, how long was it? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Go all the way back out and come back in if you can. If
Yeah, I can't get
Jacob
no
say something.
feedback from you.
Can you hear me?
Jacob say
Yeah, now I can.
okay. I don't know if it's me or him. Jacob,
Went
ask
out
him a
again.
question if you got a question. Jacob, if you got a question,
So,
ask him a question. I'll come back out and go back in.
so once you won your appeal, how long was it before you was released?
We won the appeal August, I want to say August 30th, probably September 1st.
Mhm.
And once we won that, I went back to the county like that second week of September. And when I was in there, well, let's rewind. Because before then, my lawyer was in talks with the county attorney and asked him, hey, can we get a reasonable bond so he can bond out and be with his mom and be with his family? At first, the county attorney agreed to give me a reasonable bond to make. He agreed. So me and my family and friends were under the impression that we'll get back and I'll be able to bond out, go and see my mom and be there. Once I get back to the county, it changed. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I said that, but no, I can't. I'll think of something else, but it'll be reasonable. This man went into that courtroom on the bond hearing and said that I asked that his bond stay at $1 million.
Mm. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? After saying that you agreed to 100,000, you went in this courtroom and said that because it's been 19 years, and after you've seen that you had no answer for nothing that your colleagues did or anything, and it's wrong that was done to me, you said first I agree to the 100,000. You get in front of the judge and says I asked that it stay at 1 million. So the judge
Mm.
says the counter 750,000. That's still like impossible. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
After
Right.
Mm.
going through everything that I've been through, right? So there was these organizations, I'm not gonna speak on them or whatever, that help out with bonds and everything. My team actually reached out to them. A great friend of mine who did this, named Athena, she reached out to this organization and they were interested in bonding me out, getting this money and helping these nonprofit organizations. So what happened then was they put stipulations in the way and they say, hey, well, the only way you're gonna be able to bond out is if you come up with cash surety. So meaning I need property that equaled up to almost $750,000.
Mm.
Got to have property.
Yeah.
That's the cash surety, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
pay the rest in cash. So it was like, one thing for sure is a lot of black people don't own property. You feel
So
what I'm
so the
saying?
case wasn't dropped. So the case wasn't dropped. The case was still pending.
Well, they had to recharge me all the way back over,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is somewhat like, that's a bit cold hearted, because you see that you changed the whole timeline and everything else that they manufactured, the coercion of witnesses and everything else that you did. How can you charge a man when a judge just looked at this and says, "Come on, man, y'all know what y'all did"?
Mm-hmm.
So you still want
Yeah.
to try to hold on? Okay. So what ended up happening was, my birthday was October 14th. My mom passed away October 13th.
Sorry
Passed
to
away
hear that.
October 13th, right? And like I told you, that was my backbone through all of this. This whole situation, that was my rock. That's what kept me solid. Like I told you, once she turned her life around and stopped using drugs and everything else, she was there. She put her best foot forward and she ran that marathon with me. Rain, sleet, hail, or snow, she was there. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
I had a visit with her a week before, you know what I'm saying? And I looked there on the video visit and I was like, "Mom, I'm back. I made it, baby. I'm on my way. Finna get home to you." And she just stopped and she looked. I was like, "Yeah, we trying to get this money for this bond right now, but I'll be there." And my mom just looked at me and she just stopped and she just stared at me. You know what I'm saying? And this
Now,
whole time,
was your mom sick anything before that?
she
Was she
suffered
battling
three,
anything?
she suffered 3 strokes.
Gotcha.
She suffered three
Okay.
strokes and then I could tell that she was holding on. She was holding on to see me come home. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And after this visit, for some reason, now this was a week before she passed. After that phone call, for some reason, I just went in that cell. I sat on the bunk and I cried. I just
Mm-hmm.
cried. And I don't know why. And I guess I knew then. I knew then. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when the 13th came and they said, "Hey, you need to call home." And I called home. I said, "Mama, ain't it?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "I know." You know what I mean? And my birthday was that 14th. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
how God worked, because that same organization that was trying to figure out things to get me home, when my mom passed, he said, "Go get him. Go get him. Go get him out of there." So
Mm-hmm.
October 20th, I walked out of that front door. I was free. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
to me, it felt like, instead of my mom holding on to get me home, she knew she had to let go in order to get me home. Because her
Mm-hmm.
Well,
spirit moved, man. Her spirit moved. And I'm
well,
talking about, it
let me
was
say
it
this.
was just, man, it was a bittersweet moment. You know what I'm saying? But it happened.
Oh. Yeah, Jacob trying to say something. Can you
Yeah,
hear him?
yeah, yeah. ATP, can you hear me,
Yeah.
man? So let me say this because I'm a real spiritual person, godly man. So I'm gonna say this: God had your angel riding with you for all these years. He sent her to see you because he wanted you to lay eyes on her before she transitioned,
Mm,
and he already had told her, "Oh, he gonna be all right.
mm,
He's coming home, and he gonna do wonderful things." And now it's time for you to come home, my child. So that's why she had to look you in your eyes, and that blank stare was like, thank God, my baby getting out of here. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
man. Most definitely, man. And so yeah, when I just talked to my lawyer, so we just finished up the brief, because what the state is doing, they was trying to appeal it. So now keep in mind through this process that there was no argument that the state put forth when we went to the post conviction trial. So now, fast forward to this appeal process, they come through with a whole lot of frivolous, felonious BS. that you're trying to put forth now. But how can it fly? Because you didn't put it on the record.
Mm-hmm.
You had nothing to say on the record. You feel what I'm saying? You had nothing to
Mm-hmm.
say on the record. So now all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, the attorney general is looking at this like, do y'all know what y'all just did? Y'all can't know. Y'all can't know what the hell just happened. This man just did 19 years. And y'all manufacture evidence to hit him. We got to figure out something to try to keep him in there. So this is the process that's playing out right now. But
Mm-hmm.
my spirit
And let me ask
already
you a
told me.
question. Let me ask you something. You back in Waterloo, right?
Yes.
So what made you go back to Waterloo after you got railroaded by Waterloo? That's just a curious question I have.
The thing about that is I'm smarter, I'm wiser now. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? People don't like to hold themselves accountable to a certain extent. Me knowing the color of my skin and me knowing that that's already a strike against you. So no matter if we want to admit it or not, when I was a kid and I always heard about my uncles or those wise older people in the neighborhood who we looked up to, they worked those 9 to 5s, went to work at John Deere, went to church every weekend, probably had them a little shot of Jack Daniels here and there. They didn't go through this. They didn't go to
Mm-hmm.
they didn't go to prison. They didn't do this. But the
Mm-hmm.
ones who allowed themselves to be in the streets or around the streets, things like that knocked on our door because you were guilty by association. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So me being older now and me understanding those things, hey, you want to ride? No, I'm cool. Hey, you want to go out? No, I'm cool. Hey, you want to? I'm all right, brother. I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sit back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna let nobody else dictate my pace. I'm not gonna get involved with nothing else that my name could be. No, I'm accounting for. Look on TikTok. I was at
Mm-hmm.
home in the basement. Look on TikTok. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And it's a sense of being patient. Like I know what's coming, so I'm not gonna allow them to give me enough rope to hang myself. I can go anywhere I
Mm-hmm.
want to in the US.
Yeah.
I know how to be patient. I'm gonna wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
because you know what, I'm gonna see if I can find this. It's a guy that did a documentary, and his story is kind of similar to yours. It was a different type of crime. I mean, it was a murder crime, but it played out a little different. But he got railroaded just like you, and he had a lawyer to come in, and they went through the whole thing that he went through, the appeals. Even got out. They retried him, and they put him back in, and then they brought him back out, and it was just like this doggone carousel of going back in and out, and then he
right,
ended up getting rewarded some money in the end. And I think well, I want to say it's the same case where the guy where they were saying that the state was trying to get some of the money back, saying they overpaid him or something, and
mm.
that he shouldn't have got that much. It was crazy. I'm gonna try to see if I can find that documentary so you can watch it, and maybe you might can even pick up some things to help you and your lawyer off of some of the stuff they went through to try to, you know what I'm
Well,
saying, to get
see,
get past.
the thing is, it was another guy. I might have him get in touch with you to tell his story, but last name Terry Harrington, and
Mm-hmm.
what it is 2001. He overturned his case after being locked up for 25 years, and my lawyer
Gotcha.
was the same one who went through his process because what they did with him was try to make him take a plea and plea out. So once you plea out, you waive your civil suit.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
waive
yeah.
that, which was why they was trying to get me to plea out to the drug case in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I didn't. So Danny Harrington was rewarded over $40 million. He had two
Mm.
lawsuits. Um, I talked to him too. We were able to relate about so much, man. We actually stayed on the phone for like 3 hours. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And he dropped me a lot of jewels, man, and let me know about the things that I was already stepping into.
Yeah.
Basically, like when I was on this call, the people who were calling my phone was homies that's still in prison who got life sentences. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And he was just telling me like, don't get survivor's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't allow yourself to still be tied to prison. You gotta breathe, man.
Yeah.
You just been home a little 4 months right now. You gotta allow yourself to ease away from that. But at the same time, these are people that you was walking laps with every day, working out with every day, eating steak trays with every day for years. You know what I mean? So to in a sense, it's like
Mm-hmm.
y'all family. But at the same time, gotta be able to breathe. Gotta be able to get away from that for a minute. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So yeah, and like he just
So
he and with him, they railroaded him, and what he had was a Brady violation because they withheld evidence that could have cleared him, and it
got
took
you.
him
Got you.
25 years to be able to get that and get out. So my lawyer is very equipped, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with the tools to understand this process. And we have another law firm out of Wyoming who's
Mm-hmm.
in with us. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, man, it's right now. It's just
So,
all about
so
the patience part. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Just staying
So let me ask
patient.
you this question. Let me ask you this question. Just and this is for people who, you've been through a lot. You've been through the you was in the streets real heavy. So at this point, you out now. I know you probably thinking about how can I touch these youth, the young the YNs, and let them know this jail and ain't in the streets ain't for you. So just kind of explain like that first night in prison, not jail but prison. What was your mindset and what was that you had to go through that first night?
That first night, it was the reality. The
Mm-hmm.
reality was life without the possibility of parole. That's when it sunk in that what that judge told me. That's when it sunk in that you'll never be able to go out to eat with your mama. You'll never be able to walk out your own front door. You'll never be able to get fresh air. You'll never be able to have sex. You'll never be able to have kids. You'll never, 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 never. That's what it was. So all
Mm-hmm.
the things that I had access to, it was waking up and saying, I ain't got that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at the bottom, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a hard pill to swallow. And a lot of cats, when I was going through that situation, I watch them lose themselves. I watch them start taking medication that wasn't really for them just so to cope with this situation, and they started losing their minds. I done had a couple of homies that committed suicide
Mm-hmm.
while going through that situation that blew me. And I was like, this whole time, like, man, I thought he was strong, bro. He was mentally strong. What happened? Because all it takes
Mm-hmm.
is just one time and it can be over with. All it could
Mm-hmm.
take is for that one person to pass away that you really do care about, and it's over with. Because you can easily just snap out for the good or the worse. You can easily just snap out. It could have been somebody in there that you've been having words with for a whole month and you've been letting it go. But all it took is for that one person to leave your life and you wake up and you say, you know what? I'm going to get him. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it happen a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was my mom who kept me grounded. Every time
Yeah.
she looked at me. You know what I mean? Of course, I didn't had my fights and whatever when I was in prison going through the situation. You know what I'm saying? Being locked up with some of the people's homies who I was accused of allegedly doing something. I was locked up with them. Some felt away or whatever, but it was like I ain't
Mm-hmm.
do nothing, bro. I'm still, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, standing on that. But I can't stop you from feeling away, and I can't let nobody harm me. So through
Yeah.
those, what I mean, ups and downs, my mom would come and she would see me in the hole and she would just look at me and say, you killing me. You
Mm-hmm.
killing me. This the only
Mm-hmm.
chance I get to come hug you and I can't because you behind a cage.
Yeah.
She said, don't think that just because you locked up, you the only one locked up. No, we locked up with you. We doing the time too.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you call, we gonna answer the phone. Every time you need something, we gonna make sure we there. Every time this visitation room open up, we here. So we doing the time with you. So that hit me
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, I can't be selfish. So to all these
Now,
YNs who
tell this before you continue. So I want the young people to know. Your day ones, the people that was running around with you on the streets, that you thought was had your back, that was with you 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? All that. Was they visiting you? Was they sending money?
Tell you like this, and it was only a handful, and that handful is the ones I keep close to me. And the other ones I feed them with a long handle spoon, man. Because these YNs gotta understand. Them same cats gonna be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Hey, free my homie. Oh, free my homie. He was good. Oh, do this, do that. Yeah, free my homie. I miss my homie. They gonna either put up old pictures and everything to get clout off your name, but they ain't gonna send you
Mm-hmm.
no money. They ain't gonna send you no money. They ain't gonna check on your mama. They ain't gonna check on your kids. They ain't gonna do none of that stuff. You gonna only have a select few that's gonna do that. And that select few, them the ones I keep right here, like bro, you forever, forever, homie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Forever. This loyalty gonna run deep, boy. Shit,
Now,
you fuck
now,
around and need
what's the worst thing that you've seen in there that you could talk about that you say, you know what, I got to make sure I do everything to get out of here.
the racism.
Mm,
You know, in the South, it's different being locked up down there because you have a lot of correctional officers who are black or of color. The Midwest, and you go on slant on towards the North, you don't have nothing but Caucasians, straight up, who treat you like you the scum of the earth, who treat you like they better than you, who treat you like your life really ain't shit.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The disrespect of it all. So, which it will probably lead you into doing something stupid that you really don't want to do because the harassment is there. And
Mm,
when you get into a jam with one of them, the people you got to talk to, that's his brother, that's his cousin, that's his uncle.
mm,
So when you know you in the right and you ain't do nothing wrong, and you say, "Hey man, hey so and so correctional officer, blah blah, is doing this, man." Well, you probably did something wrong. That's why he's doing it. No, I ain't do shit. Nah, you feel what I'm saying? So it was
mm-hmm.
like you living in a world. So you already don't have access to your family the way you want to, and everything else is just overpriced and it's stressful and it's hard to fight your case. But now you still being oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's tough, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
tough because it takes a whole lot of willpower for you not to snap out when those
Yeah.
situations come. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
then the YNs, they don't want to listen. They still want to fight each other about some turf war that happened when they come in, and they don't understand that they laughing at us right now, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Well, let
saying?
me
Because yeah,
well, let me ask you this to get on to kind of take this on a positive route the other way. I see you got out. You look like you shining a little bit. You see like you know, doing your thing. I watched you on TikTok a little bit last night. I see the ATP in the background. So what was your mindset? Because we had one guy on here. He did 25 years for taking somebody's life, and he did his 25, and he ended up growing like a 6-figure business, you know, in transportation. So what was your mindset of coming out and saying, okay, well first of all, what was your first meal? And then after your first meal, what was your mindset on as far as let me figure out a way to get to a bag?
we went to the crab shack, but before we even got to the meal, part of my dream was unfolding because soon as I walked out of prison, you can go to YouTube and type in ATP Richie and look at this video called Finally Free. Soon as I walked out that door, we was shooting a music video. So as soon as
Mm-hmm.
we was shooting that music video, I left there and went straight to the studio and recorded my verse. It's like a
Gotcha.
freestyle. It was just right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
No time to do nothing else. Don't go nowhere else. Went straight to the studio, dropped the video. The video started going viral because everybody was like, it was over for him. Dude was done. Hey, is this real? That's AI. That's AI, bro. That ain't real. That's AI on that video. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
bro. That's him. Y'all counted him
Mm-hmm.
out. Y'all buried dude alive, man. But one thing he kept telling y'all was, I'll be home, bro. I'll be
Yeah.
home. So the ATP came from my mom. So every
Gotcha.
time she used to come visit me, she was always telling me before she leave, because she's a very spiritual woman. She was always saying, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. She always say that before she leave that
Mm-hmm.
visit. She'll look at me. I always remember this, son. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So one day she was getting ready to leave and she said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And she stopped and I just looked at her and she was like, because you got the ambition to prosper, son. Ambition to prosper. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote a novel while I was in called Gullible Hindsight. I'm going to release that towards the summer, gearing up for that. Still working on my music, gearing up for that. So it's a lot of lot of good things that's looking up for me. You know what I mean? Being able to start this platform and really to hopefully catch some of these YNs. Because the thing about them is, you know, they do a lot of things and they don't know the consequences because they're not thinking. A lot of them get caught up in the robberies. In the state of Iowa, a first degree robbery carries 25 years with a 17 and a half year mandatory. So before they go in that gas station and hold it up for that $300 that's in that drawer, they're not even thinking about how much time they about to get. They're not knowing that they finna get 17 and a half years automatically for that $300. And then they don't understand that your mama finna send you $300 to get your commissary when you go in there. Your sister and them finna put some money together to help you get a TV when you get in there. So all of that you just did, you just threw your life away and they don't even know that. But then we can get deeper into the politics and then understand that when you're going through poverty and in the black neighborhoods or communities, 17 and a half years, it doesn't take a man 17 and a half years to understand where he went wrong if he really got a righteous heart. 17 and a half years is overkill. But you know what 17 and a half years does? Say, for instance, if that young man who's 18 at the time has a young girlfriend who's pregnant with child and it's stressful and he don't know what else to do because he has no source of incomes and he going to rob a store. So within 17 and a half years while he's away, his child is born. So when he's on his way out, how old is his child? 18 and about to make the same decisions that he did. So it's all about keeping the household broken.
Let me
That's
ask you this question. So, you know, the streets talk.
yeah,
When you was going through what you was going through, was it
yeah.
any inkling or any rumor over who actually did it? Like, did they ever get back to you who such and such was the one who actually did this?
Yes, and that's what really blew the case wide open. You know what I mean? But like I said, some things my lawyer can speak on, but I can't.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I
now let
mean?
me ask, well, see, the reason why I'm asking you that is because, so was it ever in your mind, because you seem like a official street cat, was it ever in your mind to say, man, I'm out, I should snitch just to get out of this? Because, or was it just, you know what, I'm just gonna fight this thing through and just whatever happen
I'm gonna
off
fight
of
this
what you heard?
thing. I'm gonna fight this
Okay.
thing through. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fight this thing through. And the whole thing was the part about people snitching is, bro, you can't ruin somebody else's life or bring somebody else down just because you got caught up in a situation that didn't warrant them to get caught up in that situation. You know what I mean? That's the selfish part that people got to understand. So you have a lot of people who get caught driving. Got a lot of people catch domestics and everything else, and then they want to tell on Rico and Bobo and them who over there doing something that has nothing to do with them. That
Mm-hmm.
don't make sense, bro. Just to save your own ass. In my
Mm-hmm.
situation, like I said, now when certain doors open and people offered to help me because they seen that, man, you've been going through it. But we salute
Mm-hmm.
you, boy, because you never gave up. You never went astray. You never stopped being focused. And I hate that this happened to you, but I know
Mm-hmm.
about that situation, boy. So I'm gonna reach out to
So,
your people.
other words, I heard somebody, I forgot who it was, but they said that basically when it comes to the streets, if you're in the streets moving the way you was moving, and what happened to you where you got railroaded in this situation, it's all part of it. Because at the end of the day, I could have got caught up on something else anyway. But the
Period.
fact that this happened because I'm in the streets, it's a
Period.
consequence of the game.
Period. because you
Yeah.
allowed yourself to be. That's why it goes back to what I said when I said in some sort of way people have to hold themselves accountable
Mm-hmm.
because you know the certain type of crimes that happen when you're doing certain things in life. As a 19-year-old male, if I was in college, what are some of the things that I have to worry about in a state that is predominantly white? You have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about the white chicks putting the rape on you
Yeah.
because you're on college
Yeah.
campus and you're allowing yourself
Mm-hmm.
to be around that. You get what I'm saying? So there are
Yep.
certain
Yep.
things
Yep.
that you already know there's a possibility of me being
Mm-hmm.
around this that I can get accused of. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha.
cats don't understand consciously when you allow yourself to be in those streets and you allow yourself to be around certain things, it's a lot of things that you can get accused of. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because you fit the description. Because it don't necessarily has to be the crime of a murder. And it doesn't have to be the state accusing you of that crime. It could be the dope boy who just got
Mm-hmm.
robbed and they thought that it was you. And now your life
Mm-hmm.
is in danger because you allowed yourself to be around it. You know what I'm saying? It goes both ways. It
Mm-hmm.
goes both ways. Cause they can easily rob that look like dude right there that ran out that house, bro, who got that bag. Now all of a sudden, you got a whole nother drama on your hands. You know what I'm saying? Because you're out there around it. You know what I'm saying? So to a certain extent, like I said, people have to hold themselves accountable. Because like I
Yeah.
said, you didn't see it too many times that those older brothers when you was growing up who worked them 9 to 5s, took care of their household, who went to church and everything else. The most you ever seen them get was a DUI or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But you
Yeah.
didn't see
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
that was the part that I learned. Like
Yeah.
people don't understand that birds of a feather really flock together. Even if you're not doing what they're doing, you can be accused of it because you're around it.
Yeah. So Jacob, you got any questions before we let this man go?
Yeah, ATP man. Man, you got a remarkable story, brother, and I know God was with you, bro, because a lot of people don't make it from behind those walls,
Most
and
definitely.
a lot of people mind mentally are still confined to the walls when they make it out, and so for your mind to be as sharp as it is, and for your emotions not to be all over the place, then we already know that you went through your healing process, and your mother helped you with the healing process, and that's phenomenal. So,
Absolutely.
my question for you, man, what's next from you, Richie, man? Like, what are we going to see in years to come?
Um, well, by this summer, you're gonna see me in Atlanta doing a book release party somewhere in some event center because I'm gonna start there. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be releasing Gullible Hindsight in one of your event centers in Atlanta. So hopefully y'all can link up with y'all and y'all can, you know what I mean, get that live
No doubt.
action there. Bring one of your
No doubt.
DJs or something because we most definitely finna do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a starting point. And if you don't mind, I got one of my singles right here that I want to play for you if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Does it have to be the edited version?
Nah, you good.
All right. But remember, you can go to YouTube, ATP Richie, and listen to that finally free. And the emotion of it all, man, of me embracing my family, my lawyers, and everybody else walking out that door after 19 years, it's very, very emotional, man. You can see it there. You know what I mean? So encourage everybody to go and check that song out on YouTube. It's a whole video. Um, the song that I got right here is called Ballin' right here. So as soon as you hear it, you're gonna know what song I remixed and flipped it and put a twist to. Keep on going in and out. No, it's that Mr. The Prize. ATP. Pouring wet paint, pocket full of paint, rolling up the stain, sipping on a drink, shitty with some rain, talking y'all face, slide nigga blank, stretching like a plane. This is not a prank, Richard on my chain, plugged in the bay, chickens on the way. You partake, butter parcade, you can catch a play, never run the delay. Haters feel away, gripping on the case, spinning not spray, dripping on your chase. This is not a phase, this is not a place, piss all on your grave, listen I'm made, locked up in the cage, all the fucking days, all the fucking days. I was in the cage, now I'm out the cage, back to getting paid. Feel away, I am not afraid, ain't right this way, nothing but I stayed. Nice mama prayed, I was in the cage, never win a spray, roads getting paid. Now when they raid, I'ma be okay, be a DOA. If a nigga play, I ain't catching phase, I'm a broken nade, hole in your face, ain't no getting grave. Talk about the game, shit about the change. Ricky be the name, back up in the game. Ain't about the fame, it's what I'm finna claim. I'm the one to blame, I'm to be ashamed. Never keep me sane, we are not the same. I was serving pain, you was Eddie Kane. Took everything, locked me up in chains. Bury me in vain, alive but was slain. What about the brain? Keep you in the pain, 50 on the chain, 50 on the brain, 50 keep you sane, 50 bring you pain, 50 in my lane, 60 when I aim. In y'all hands, get this guy's playing, lying in the sand, cross it in your fan. Shooters out the van, popping like a sand. Ricky when he ran, spin it. 100 grand, he ain't from the land. Hated to the fan, you ain't got a band. He saw the man, whipped and popped the pants. Switch Jackie Chan, different type of brand. Linking weed fan, linking with the clan. Bitches cause I can, mentally advanced. He wanna dance, call about the pants like that little thing. Anybody fan. ATP Richie, nigga. They thought y'all was gonna have me locked up forever, nigga. I'm back, nigga. Everything that was mine, nigga. I get it back, nigga.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So, yeah, definitely, man. Let us know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you ready to do what you got to do this summer in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? So, just let me know what you got planned and how we can help you or whatever.
Right.
In any kind of way. So yeah, just let us know, man. To give everybody your social medias and all that kind of stuff when we get up out of here.
Yeah, Facebook is Jeffrey ATP Richie Smith. Instagram is the real underscore ATP Richie. TikTok is ATP Richie. Snapchat ATP Richie. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can always follow me and yeah, inbox me. You got any questions, need any advice about anything, I can always help you. And I will say this to a lot of people who are in the music business. Like I done had conversations with my attorneys, you know what I mean? Because hip hop is hip hop. Our culture is our culture. So a lot of things that you might just hear me rapping, don't get it misconstrued. Jeffrey Smith is a total different person from the artist ATP Rich. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of music that might come from pain, passion, and everything else, but that has nothing to do with the actual person and human being. Artist is an artist. So
Mhm.
when I craft music and I do this, it comes out of pain. So there's a lot of things that said, and people say, "Well, how you did all this time and you rapping like this?" Listen, before I got locked up, I wasn't a gospel rapper. Before I got locked up, that's you know what I mean. The way that I think, the way that I carry myself, I know how to be respectful. I know how to not be disrespectful. I know how to speak on certain things because I have a way of words, but I also know what sells. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's just the insight of that. You know, a lot of people don't understand. When they putting these things in their music, you're actually speaking on facts that are into situations that could get you incarcerated. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I would encourage all of these cats, man. Think before you say
Mm-hmm.
certain things out of your mouth and you put that on wax. Think.
Yeah.
If you
Mm-hmm.
know for a fact that it was certain things that was involved with a certain thing, and it was certain cars, it was certain guns, it was certain things, don't be putting that in your music, man. Because these right
Exactly.
people gonna bring it right back to tie you into it. And they gonna use your
Mm-hmm.
words against you. So always be aware of that.
Yes,
And
sir.
I
Yes, sir. So
appreciate
we gonna
y'all, man, for giving me that opportunity
Yeah.
though, man.
Yes,
no
sir. Yes,
doubt,
sir.
no
Appreciate you.
doubt, man. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Wish you all the best, man. God bless you, man. And we gonna end it right here,
Already.
man. 95 South TV. We out.
Already. I
All right, peace.
appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Well, once this situation is closed out, we're gonna have to do a follow-up so
Oh
we can
yeah,
get
no
to the
doubt.
to the, the
Yeah.
grits
Uh-huh.
of everything. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because
Just
it's
let me
some
know.
layers, man. It's some layers, and I want to air it all out, but like I said, I can't. So I
Yeah,
gave you
yeah,
the
yeah.
best version that I could, but it's more to
Yeah.
come. It's
Okay,
more to
no doubt.
come.
Let us know. We got you, fam.
All right, man. I appreciate
All right,
y'all,
all
man.
right.
All
All
right,
right,
All right.
peace.
100. All
Yep.
right, we
All
out.
right, now.
Brown skin girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind. The girl, she's